Hello everyone, it's Spurs Wedding 96 here and welcome to another Train Sim World video on my channel. Today I am doing an in-depth video analysis today of a very unusual video, but it has a very understandable purpose to it. You'll see what I mean. Now, when you compare Train Sim World 2 and one of my favourite racing games, Gran Turismo Sport, they don't really go hand in hand, do they? I mean, a train game and a racing game, how's this going to work, Spurs Wedding? Well, it's got nothing to do with the actual gameplay side of things. I mean, driving a train on time and driving a race car around a circuit for many laps are two completely different things and have two completely different experiences and purposes. Now, I thought of this concept of what if Train Sim World 2 could look to Gran Turismo Sport for inspiration? And that focuses on two specific features. Now, when Train Sim World 2 was released in August of 2020, it came with a stack load of new features. Now, the two features I've singled out that I think Gran Turismo Sport could certainly help influence Train Sim World 2's future direction with these modes or features are the livery editor and the photo mode editor. So I'm going to be taking a look at Gran Turismo Sport's inception of the livery editor as well as its actual community page on the game and seeing how that could work in Train Sim World 2. It will also be the same for the very in-depth and very realistic photo mode as well. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Enjoy. So let's start with the Livery Designer. Off the bat, I think it's actually pretty good. It's a pretty in-depth system that was introduced in Train Sim World 2. For example, you've got a variety of things you can do, such as shapes. You can colour the train, you can stretch them, you can resize them, rotate the angles and of the shapes to your desired effect. You can add different layers to the livery. You can also finish it off with, for example, decals, safety, railway signs, letters, numbers, to give it more of an authentic real-world look. The Livery Designer also has the advantage of saving up to 300 layers in the game, as well as having 300 layers per vehicle. So that is pretty in-depth. It's not just the train, the locomotive, but the rolling stock as well. Now, I do not believe it's been applied to all of the locomotives in the game. I think only the newer locomotives of the newer routes can have this feature enabled. I do not believe the Preserve Collection has it enabled just yet, but I'm sure it'll be pretty soon. It's only a matter of time. Gran Turismo Sport is exactly the same. It has those very similar design characteristics of the livery editor. You can add its own numbers, letters, shapes and colours, but also have different colours of paint as well. So you can go from matte black, you can have matte finishes, glossy paints, carbon paints, all sorts. Now, where Gran Turismo Sport has the advantage is not really to do with the livery designer at all. It's to do with the decal system in the game. Now, on the official website of Gran Turismo Sport, you can upload real-world decals to the game. And then you can personalize it and put it on, different cars, apply it to different liveries, etc., and use it to heart's content. You can even have the ability to share specific decals that you've uploaded primarily for yourself originally to the wider community for greater use and advantage. I think that is awesome. To share real-world decals and not having to pay any sort of penalty for it, copyright infringement and all that kind of stuff. Sony and Gran Turismo and Polyphony Digital are very relaxed. I mean, this game's been out since 2017, and not really any major changes have happened that concerns sharing real-world decals, logos or things like that. And I'm pretty pleased it stays that way. And if Dovetail Games was to implement a sort of decal upload sharing system, I think that would be really beneficial to the designers of Train Sim World. So that concludes this little section on the livery editor. So now let's take a look at the next feature that I think Gran Turismo Sport could help Train Sim World 2, and that is the very in-depth photo mode system. Now, Train Sim World 2's Railfan screenshot photo mode system thing does the job. It executes its purpose pretty well. It enables you to obviously take a picture of the locomotive if you're driving it using the external camera in whatever route you choose, weather conditions, time of year, You can also take photos using in first-person mode of the exterior or the interior of the locomotive, or wherever in the route you wish to do it. Now, once you've done that, you have the ability to share it to dovetaillive.com, download it to your own personal gallery, or have the ability to share it with friends and family on social media, and so on and so forth. Now, while I think that is good, there's not much the way in terms of personalization with these photographs. Now, yes, you could say, well, you can just take the photo, ship it over to, I don't know, Photoshop, and then edit it to hand's content. But not many people don't. But not many people have Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop. I mean, I don't think my laptop is very, very good at using Photoshop, to be honest with you. And anyway, some people can't really, struggle to use Photoshop. It's a very complex system. So Train Sim World 2 should adapt some sort of editing system. And Gran Turismo Sport, of course, can help because it has its own, if you like, actual effects mode. Now, you can actually take the photograph very similar to setting up a photograph in Train Sim World 2, so you can pan around the car, regardless what circuit, time of day, if it's raining, if it's not, take the photo, happy days. But once you get into the effects mode, that's where things start to change. You can zoom in and out of the photo. You can actually change the photo type. You can have it a 16:9, like you're watching it on a computer or on a TV. You can have it a 1:1, like you shot it on your phone, a 3:2. You get tons of different effects and special effects such as film grain, film vignetting strength, lens distortion effects, chromatic aberrations. You get glaring, loads of screen effects such as masks, tons of filters like individual color tone corrections, adjust the vividness of colors, brightness, highlights, midpoint corrections, black point corrections. You can even have the ability to use different filters that apply specifically just to the cars alone. So it is a very complex and in-depth system, and for people who like photography, myself included, not just in the virtual world but in the real world, it's just heaven to me. And to go from Gran Turismo Sport and then go to Train Sim World, play a game and think, oh, I want to take a photo of that, and then you find out there's not much in-depth features to really personalize that photo. For me, as a shutterbug, as I like to call myself when taking photos, is very off-putting, and that's why I don't take many photographs of Train Sim World 2 purely from my game. I tend to stick to the actual official screenshots that Dovetail Games produce. Now, will Train Sim World, should Train Sim World adapt this system that Gran Turismo Sport has? No, I don't think so. I mean, it's very complex and very in-depth and could take many, many months to develop and get right. But I think at least making a start by getting some of the correct features in, like zooming in and out, applying different filters, and maybe change the photo types, I think that will be a good start. But anyway, now let's get into the third and probably most important feature or adaptation I'd like to see from Gran Turismo and Train Sim World 2, and that is a community page in the game. Now, this for me is very surprising because I would have thought that Train Sim World 2 being developed in 2020 that having a social media aspect or a social hub in the game, I thought they would have that, particularly in these times where not many people are able to see each other anymore face to face. They are relying more on social media, and even games in general, they are becoming more and more of a social network in itself. People that you can see, I don't know, if you can race on Gran Turismo, for example, you can go in a race with someone that you've never heard of before, you beat them in the race, and next minute they can follow your page and they can get to know you, and you can make friends with people. And to make friends, new friends in games, 10 to 20 years ago, that was unheard of. So I think the social aspect and the technology aspect, as well as gaming aspect, all mashed together, it really allows you to socialize in the way that you would never thought possible. Now, Gran Turismo Sport has an unbelievable social space, if you like, of the game. It includes a rich variety of features. Now, it's almost like a Facebook page in truth. If you haven't got Facebook, then you're in the right place for me to explain it. So if you have created photos in the game, you can share it to your own page. People can like it, comment on it, they can share it. as well as downloading it if you wish to their collection so they can see it in all its glory. The same goes for liveries and decals. You can share it, people can comment on it, like on it, share it around to make it more popular, but you can also download liveries and decals so other people can use it in their own gaming experiences. So that is really awesome. That's really putting your liveries and decals to good use, not just showing on the page and hey presto you can get 100 likes, but it's actually getting used in the game itself, which I think is very, very beneficial. Also, you can help display various stats on your profile, such as the latest list of achievements, what other people are doing, what they have posted up, like what photos they put up recently in the last 24 hours. Same goes for liveries and decals. So there's so much more going on. You feel more like you're part of a community, whereas Train Sim World, you feel very isolated and very secluded. And at times, yes, I think that's okay to have, but then there's just like a void there that's missing, and I do feel that Train Sim World 2 needs to have some sort of social space in the game itself. Yes, you can have it on the forums or the website, but I don't think that's good enough in these times. We need to have a social space in the game, and I think a social page like you have in Gran Turismo Sport would certainly to go a long way to addressing the so-called social issues that Train Sim World 2 has at this moment in time. But there we go, that concludes this video taking a look at some features of Gran Turismo Sport that could help influence Train Sim World 2's progression in the three particular areas that I've suggested, which is photography, the livery designer, as well as adding a social page to the game as well. So of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and please subscribe if you are new for more up-to-date Train Sim World news and content from me. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Take care.